and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. We are going to tell you about a fantastic movie that you should check out this Halloween. It's called Pay the Ghost and stars Nicolas Cage. Now Pauline here will give us a brief plot summary.
Hi everyone. This story it basically is in regards to Nicolas Cage. He's a professor at university, and it focuses around him and his family, and he goes out one Halloween with his son, and his son is essentially like what looks like abducted, and they try to investigate, find out like where he's gone, but can't find him. So a year after after his son's abducted, him and his wife start experiencing ghostly sounds and visions and things moving in the house. Nicolas Cage then starts kind of doing a bit of investigation into where his son's gone, a specific thing that his son said before he was abducted, which was, can we pay the ghost? And this leads to a series of events where Nicolas Cage finds out about this woman who basically abducts children on Halloween, and then the story kind of goes on from there.
So there you go. So Nicolas Cage has got a bit of a rap of being a bit kind of crazy sometimes, and I felt he was quite restrained on this one. So we'll talk about the positives and the negatives. Do you want to go with the positives first of all?
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed this movie. I think it had a lot of really quite good jump scares in it. Bits where you are, of course, kind of expecting something, but I thought they were done quite well. I thought Nicolas Cage was actually quite good. Like you said, I thought he was quite restrained, but I thought he was really good. And generally, I just thought that the plot was actually not that bad.
I also really enjoyed this movie. I thought one of the things I felt was strong about this film is the acting between the two parents, Nicolas Cage and the woman, I think her name is Sarah Wayne Callis. She was in Prison Break. You really feel the anguish I felt of them when they lose the kid. So you kind of really buy into the characters. And I'll tell you about Nicolas Cage. So when I was watching this film, I forgot I was watching Nicolas Cage. I was watching the character, which to me that's the strength of when someone can kind of go into the role. And I really kind of enjoyed it, and I kind of got sucked into the plot, which is the first thing. So the second thing is you now care about the characters, and it's got an intriguing plot. It's like a supernatural mystery as you kind of finding out what's happening with the characters as you go along, and little kind of pieces of information are kind of revealed. And there are some creepy set pieces in this. There are a few jump scares, and some of them are a little cheap, I have to say. But there are some fantastic creepy imagery here, and it's not sparse. It is kind of it's peppered throughout the movie. And obviously, it finishes fairly sort of in a dramatic fashion. But you're not kind of starved of visual things throughout the movie. So I have to say, if you've seen the trailer for this, that it's a lot better than the trailer suggests, I would say, because I thought the trailer was relatively weak, but this is a lot better than the trailer. So I really like the visual style. I really like the characters. I thought it had an intriguing plot. I thought the acting for the most part was all very good, and the designs of the ghostly goings on and stuff like that were all quite good. So for me, it's all pretty positive. It's got a really slick production. It's a sort of a medium budget film. It sort of came out on VOD, but it's good. It's a good, slick, solid looking film. I would say if you like things like Mama, you would probably like this film. So any negatives?
I guess the only negative for me was, I think, as much as I said the plot was alright, was when they got to the point of explaining about the ghost and why she's doing what she's doing. I found that because it's based on a basically Irish, so Celtic story, and I just found that a little bit, just the way they explained it kind of was a bit, I felt like it didn't flow very well. I found it quite, she does this because of this and because of this, and I just find that a little bit, that was the only really kind of negative for me, was when they were explaining that part of it. I just felt like it wasn't didn't flow very well. That was the only thing.
I have three things that I would say. with this one. They're all relatively minor, to be honest with you. Number one, there was a supporting character who I thought acting was significantly poorer, and this is the female colleague of Nicolas Cage. You notice the acting with her is significantly worse than anyone else. The second thing, there's a character of a police lieutenant, and he actually gets a fair amount of screen time, but I felt there is missing scenes that he must have had, because his kind of arc suddenly just gets dropped, and I didn't feel was kind of resolved. Things start to happen with him, and we never really go back to him. I mean, he doesn't have a major impact on the story necessarily, but he felt like he was kind of on his own sort of arc. And I felt there must have been scenes that were taken out probably for running time, because it felt like it just kind of stopped with him and it never really went any further with him. And the last thing I would say is the climax of this film is a little CGI-ish for me.
Yeah, the predictable bit. Yeah.
So it's a little bit kind of like, obviously a bigger, better, but it kind of comes across as a little. But I have to say, for the most part, I consider them relatively minor criticisms, because I really enjoyed this movie. So there you go. So what would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I was going to go 8.5, so it's pretty close. Yeah. So definitely check out Pay the Ghost and don't be put off if you think Nicolas Cage is one of these guys who is all over the place. This is a relatively restrained but a good performance, and a believable one at that. So go check it out. Leave us a comment if you've seen it, and let me know what you think. Bye for now.